Hi, and welcome to the Science of the Good Life. I'm Louisa Jewell, and I'm here with Michelle McQuaid. Now, Michelle is a best-selling author, workplace well-being teacher, and playful change activator with more than a decade of senior leadership experience in large organizations around the world. She's passionate about translating cutting-edge research from positive psychology and neuroscience into practical strategies for health, happiness, and business success. An honorary fellow at Melbourne University's Graduate School of Education, her work has been featured in Forbes, Harvard Business Review, The Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post, Boss Magazine, The Age, Women's Agenda. It goes on and on and on. I'm so excited and so thrilled to have her here today. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, Louisa. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Now, Michelle, you have experienced great success in your career. You have been one of the youngest top executives at a very large international firm in Australia. You've also run your own successful business now, teaching others how to be successful and how to flourish. But you weren't always that free woman that you are today. So tell us, what was it that helped turn things around for you?
Louisa, I think like most women, I had that little voice constantly chattering away in my brain saying, I'm not really good enough, and at any moment I'm going to be found out as the imposter that I really am. So even though I'd achieved great things in my career, I was constantly white knuckling it on the edge of my seat, wondering if I could pull off the next challenge or overcome the next obstacle. What made a huge difference for me, though, in dealing with my self-doubt was in discovering my strengths. Those things I actually liked doing and that I was good at. Now, the challenge with this is that two-thirds of us have no idea what our strengths actually are. So it's natural that while we're really good at spotting all the things we're not so good at and obsessing about why we need to fix those, why they make us not good enough, being able to actually spot all the things that I was good at and to balance that picture out a little bit gave me a whole new sense of confidence.
That's
That's
wonderful.
wonderful.
Now, I know in your program, Shine, you teach women about how to tap into their strengths, but we have different kinds of strengths, don't we? And so, why is it important to explore different kinds of strengths? And maybe you can tell us more about the different kinds of strengths as well.
Yeah, look, some of us, we all have different mix of strengths, and the research on this is really still emerging. There's lots that we're still coming to understand. So some of us look at our character strengths, and these are the things that we like doing, whether anybody pays us for them or recognizes us for them or not, because they're often tied to values that we hold. They're things that intrinsically motivate us, that we'll do just for their own reward. But on the other hand, we also have talents, and our talents are things that we like being paid and recognized for. They're things that extrinsically motivate us, and they tend to be more associated with what we do each day. So in our program, Show Up, Shine and Succeed, we actually take two of the most popular tools, the VIA Character Survey and Gallup Strengths Finder, and show you how to map your character strengths and your talents to find that zone where you really feel like you're flourishing and at your best at work.
That sounds amazing. So it's almost like you have heart and mind combined there.
Exactly. And the what you do at work, your talents, and the how you like to do it in your character strengths. And we find sometimes it's not always easy to change the what to do, but most of us have a fair degree of choice over the how we do it. The thing is, as you get better at the how, we find most people go, yeah, I want more of that. I want to spend more of my day doing what I do best. And that's where the what and your talents really start to come into play as you begin to make some shifts and evolve your career more towards the things that you love doing and where you really feel like you're in that zone and at your best.
That's amazing. Now, you know I'm writing a book about how to overcome self-doubt. So when it comes to managing your self-doubt, how might developing your strengths make it a little bit easier for you?
Yeah, look, for me, as I said at the start, managing that self-doubt and that little voice chattering away in my head was a big part of why discovering my strengths was so important. It gave me an evidence base of all the things I actually was good at. And what I learned to do is instead of that little voice always telling me, you're not good enough, oh, you crazy woman, you've forgotten where you put that, you're stuffing that up, I was able to balance that with the voice of my strengths going, you know what? In most cases, you're better than you think you are. And I could find all this evidence again and again of where I was using my strengths, where that was absolutely true 99.9% of the time. So that really helped. But it also made it easier to take some of those small steps each day outside my comfort zone, because I felt like I had some good things to draw on to be able to take those courageous steps and push myself forward. And it was also really important in being able to feel like, as I was overcoming self-doubt, showing up a bit more confidently at work, that I was doing that in a way that was authentic to who I was, rather than maybe trying to do it. I worked in very masculine dominated environments, so rather than sort of being more confident in that masculine way that sometimes comes off as over assertive, sometimes a bit of a jerk if you're trying to fake it, I was able to be confident in a much more authentic way because I was using the strengths that were core to who I was.
Oh, that's amazing because, I think as women, we do need to come up with our own style of doing things because we do have a different perspective sometimes. And sometimes we shy away if it's not the sort of, general perspective if you're working in a male-dominated environment. So I really love that how strengths can help you be more authentic and use your voice in the workplace, especially as a woman. But I also like this idea that once you know what your strengths are, you can attribute more of your successes to those strengths, can't you? Like, you can say, geez, I do have those strengths, and they come up over and over again.
And you can feel more confident that you can replicate it. You know what? It wasn't
Yes.
just got lucky. One of the things we find is so often as women in our careers, we say, I got really lucky, to get that opportunity, or I got lucky to pull that program off. But actually, as you start to look at your strengths in play again and again and again, you begin to realize that actually a whole lot of it isn't luck. It's doing what you do best. It's showing up and putting in the effort to make it work. And then it's doing it again and again and again in ways that you really enjoy, that feel true to who you are, and that others around you can value and appreciate you for.
So I guess really strengths can help you get rid of that imposter syndrome, as you named it earlier.
They can certainly help you challenge it. Look, I still have moments where I go, oh, am I as good as people expect me to be? But what it does is help me really have an evidence base to talk back to those doubts and say, hang on, you did do all these different things, and you did that because you have good strengths to draw on. You're willing to show up and put in the effort and to see it through. So I find that it makes it easier to challenge when those moments of self-doubt still come up. I think we all have a little bit of that. And as you've told me before, some of that's a healthy thing to have to stop us risking unnecessarily. But what it does is, instead of the self-doubt holding me back or causing me to dim myself down or to hesitate from things that I really want to be doing, it helps me take that step into it and overcome the fear that might be stopping me.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for sharing that amazing tip with us and helping us all shine in our careers and in our life. And so we're going to put links into some of your programs and your website below this video. So thanks again for being with us today, and thanks for being on the Signs of the Good Life.
My pleasure, Louise. And at the website, michellemcquaid.com, people can grab a free ebook on all the different ways they can use their character strengths at work. So head on over and grab your copy.
Wonderful. Okay, I'll put a link to that too. Wonderful. Okay, thanks, Michelle. Thanks for
Thanks,
waking up so early as well in Australia.
Louisa. Take care.
Good night or goodbye. Good morning.